So we're back this week with the 500k budget. We've got a lot of players to go through and some of them are absolutely insane. The Galazzo promo has definitely shaken everything up this week. Let's go through it then. So goalkeepers to start with. I must admit now you can get Van der Sar for 400,000. I mean, it's an easy choice. I still think a lot of these keepers are very good, but Van der Sar is always the end goal. And you have 3 different options now. 338 for obviously the Thunderstruck, and even just a 160 for his prime. I think at any point, Van der Sar in entirety is the best keeper in this game. But you can go with others. At the minute, I am going with Casillas for the moment. He is a bit expensive, but he is good if you do get him out of a pack, which is what I've managed to do. So we've just upgraded from Courtois, but most keepers, if you've got your solid one, they are pretty good this year. So if you're looking to improve your team, make sure you're heading over to lootbar.gg. They are the best and most reliable coin service you can find. Also with the best 24-hour manual customer service that you physically cannot find anywhere else. But before finishing on lootbar.gg, make sure you are using the code JT11, 8% off your first ever transaction and then 5% off every time after that. Once you've gone through the payment, you'll be able to get your coins within the next 24 hours, absolutely guaranteed. Also with the code, you'll be able to get 5% more coins on every transaction. Make sure you do click the link either in the description or down in the comment section below. Now into the centre backs. It has had a massive shake-up. As you can tell, Galazzo's everywhere, a bit of fantasy, nothing too crazy, and all my birthday thrown in as well. There is definitely more options, but I've gone for just the 11. That's what I always try and do, is just get 11 players under that budget, one of the best, and we can go through them. So the kind of older but goldies, Company, Virgil, Maldini, Nesta, kind of old but more kind of recent as well. They are still very good. But I must admit, when it comes to pricing at this moment in time, the Galazzos have come on top. Yes, you can't quite get the 94 Vidic, but with this slide tackle plus an aerial, it's slightly better for the playstyles, even though it is, well, the change from bruiser to slide tackle loses a couple of stats across the board, but still good enough. You whack the shadow on him, he's still got a very good top speed on him, and I must admit, for 54,000, what can you argue with? Literally, if you were quite happy with a gold Virgil and just a 91 Vidic, you're looking at literally at about 100k to 110k for both of them. That is, maybe not even 100k. That is incredible with how little you can spend to get a solid team already. We then have 2 others in 285 for Campbell, Galazzo, and then also Desai, who is an absolute monster. I was kind of hoping he would have been changed to a CDM, as I really like him in that role. Very much like Petit and Lam, Zanetti as well. They just play in the midfield once they've been changed so much better than and with a centre-back. They still play incredible, but it's just even better to get him out into that CDM and already have a crazy amount of centre-backs in there. We have through Marquez in here, as I've heard, I've only played him as a CDM, but I've heard great things about him being a centre-back as well. Let me know down below if you have put him at centre-back. I quite like him in the centre-mid CDM role. He works really well there, but I have heard as a centre-back, he's pretty decent. Delit at 92, very high rating, 475. He's kind of up there. He's got the stats, the defending, the physical, the pace, the dribbling to some extent with certain positions. Kohler, absolutely magnificent. Love this centre-back. Anticipate and block with obviously a decent pace upgrade for him. Defending, physical through the roof. He again is just a very good player for so cheap. And then Cordoba, who's slightly coming down in price now at 480 at the moment. He's kind of what I'd expect from a Cannavaro with the aerial plus and then the intercept. It's a very good combination for a centre-back who isn't necessarily the tallest in the world, but most definitely will have every tackle 100% behind them. Now, if I was picking 2 from this list, I would think, who would I go for? Because Virgil was fantastic, but I have just taken him out this week as well. I'd probably go Desai, and then it'd be a toss-up because I've got the 94 Vidic between the 91 Vidic and possibly Kohler, to be honest. I think for price-wise, them two together have been magnificent. When it comes to fullbacks, I must admit it's pretty boring still. There's not really too many changes. The one thing that we can kind of hope on now is Roberto Carlos is 1.5 on an SBC, but he's now coming in at 500,000 for that future star. So that's a very interesting turn of events because he did have the Galazzo upgrade as well to a 93 with a 5.5. Naturally, anything else just falls down in line and he loses a little bit of price from it. We've obviously got the brand new Ashley Cole. I was a fan, but I'd probably still go with maybe more of a cheaper option. I'd definitely choose Carlos over him. Madison at 88,000 I don't think is a bad choice whatsoever if you are looking at a kind of more tight budget. Then you've obviously got Lizarazu at 388 and then also 275 for the 88 Dynasties Teo. Some good options, but they've been there this whole time. To be honest, I would stay with Havertz, who could potentially go into that 88 evolution. You're looking at Bakker at the 90 still, Rolfo at 93. There's still so many options where I'm like, there's not been one that I'm like, yes, that is the cheapest player that we're going to upgrade to. The right back has had a nice upgrade. Reece James coming in at 172. Still got a couple of days left, but it is coming down to the wire now. I believe last time I checked, he had 7 days left, but honestly, the tracker days has absolutely gone. He's still got, well, if you're watching this, he's only got 4, I don't know, how has he got 4 hours left? So that would take him to 5. So yeah, that makes sense. So actually, if you're not watching this by the day that I put it out or the hour that I put it out, he's probably gone. I thought he had a couple of days left, but apparently he's going very, very soon. Bellerin being an objective, I think he's pretty good at season pass. Obviously, you've got to use him to get Kolo Muani if you are trying to finish off that objective. But again, another one that I think is just wonderful for literally no price. Pedro Porro would be the kind of step up. Doesn't have that double playstyle plus, but he does have the 4-star instead of a 3-5. And obviously he does have the whipped pass still with some impeccable stats. For not very much coins, 32,000 isn't bad whatsoever. And then we have the trusted free icons. Carfu finally coming down under 500k for his 92 Thunderstruck. We have Lam, who I like as a CDM, but I must admit he still absolutely works it wherever he goes. And then Carlos Alberto, now we have got a crazy amount of centre-backs. I think he could possibly be merged into the right back. Does have a future star that again could go into that right back role, but also could be a centre back if you need it as well. It's a good one. If you get a red card, you could just swap him in quite nicely and he'll fit like a glove. Now, I don't know if you're getting the theme, but there is a lot of Galazzo out there because the prices are just nuts. Genuinely, for some of these cards, they should be way, way higher. I thought 500k would be a good budget because a lot of them are under that, and just you wait for the final one. It's an incredible team. But if we are looking at some of the oldies but goldies, Yaya Toure can now have an upgrade for an 88 evolution, making him an 89 for free. I think that's always worth mentioning. At 389, still very, very good. He doesn't quite have the playstyle pluses or playstyle plus that I would choose, but he still is a very good in-game ability player. Kaka with a rapid plus, there's nothing else to love about that. Obviously with his new Galazzo player as well, he's coming in at 800, so he's a little bit more expensive, but with a rapid plus, Kaka can honestly do anything. Stanway with her final upgrade of to 93, a 4-star with jockey and pinged pass. Incredible stats. Very, very much worth looking at. She is an absolute talent going into that midfield. And for the price that you're paying at 79,000 for a 93, really not that bad whatsoever. We do have Matthias coming under now, 300,000 coins. Honestly, I would love to see the comparison between like last year at this point, because genuinely I am interested now, because I'd be interested what we're on the 8th of April. What was his card coming in on the 8th of April last year? Because I'm pretty sure he was more expensive. Granted, he does have the prime there. So if we were looking at April, we're looking at the 8th of April. He was coming in at, say the 10th, oh, the 8th, there it is, 1.8 million. That's nuts in itself. If I go, let's go to the 91 then. Let's see if that one's any different. If we was looking at April, he was still coming in at about 800,000 coins as well. The base will obviously be a little bit more, but 300,000 coins is crazy. Genuinely one of the years where I feel like a lot of, even if it's not the newest icon of him, you'll be able to get a lot of your favorite icons, which I think is very, very good. does come with a cost, obviously. We have the 2 future stars in David Beckham with his new SBC, but the price has plummeted purely down to the fact they messed up with the tradable Beckham, so you could finish the SBC and he could be tradable. That has now changed to untradable, but the lasting effects on that card is absolutely nuts. Rivaldo is always fantastic. He's got that 4-4 now. The left foot can go left wing with the flair and also the power shot. Always a brilliant cam. And then we do have Rodri as a good old unit. I loved the Fire and Ice. The team of the year was just a little bit better, but the playstyle pluses was a little bit of a letdown. And then we have the Galazzo quadruple. We have Marquez again in that CDM role. Like I said, that is personally where I've played him. But as centre-back, I've heard a lot of good things. I just think he's a very good DM. And then we have the likes of Park and Lampard. Personal preference is definitely going into Park, but Lampard is still a very good centre mid that you can have for 81,000 coins. That is the best bit about them. They literally cost you absolutely nothing. And then we do have a very nice Xabi Alonso at 465. Now, if you are not willing to pay the 465, he does have a nice 90 rated card in objectives that isn't that much different, to be honest. It's mainly just stats, keeps the 4-4, keeps the double playstyle plus, and he's absolutely free. So that one is worth definitely having a look at and must complete in this week. I must admit, it seems to be the fullbacks and the wings are the two boringest positions. We've got very standard in here. Wingers are still very expensive, and even through the Galazzo promo, we've got a Harry Kewell. I think he is absolutely fantastic for the price, I must say. 5-5, rapid plus, power shot plus. There's nothing to not love about that card, but we were focused mainly on cheaper strikers, centre-backs, centre-mids. The wingers didn't really get the love. Jarzinho came out, who you know is far too expensive for the one team, and then for the first team you got Ginola at 2.46, and then you got El Waran at 7.35. So even El Waran's come down in price massively, but it was mainly the strikers, which is the next slide. If I was kind of looking through, I think Harry Kewell is definitely worth a look in. You can't get much better than that. A 5-5, the rapid is my personal favourite. Power shot, a very good trait to have as well. Plus the stats across the board is always nice. You've got Garincha coming in at 248, which I think is crazy. The base here, the base icons now are really starting to drop that price, which is just nuts. R9 is coming in at 3.5 now, which again is crazy to think in literally the space of, well, say the 12th of March, he was coming in at 7.6. That is how much of an effect this has had on every single icon. Butra coming in at 274. I know he's got a better version, which is a little bit more expensive, but still a solid option. And I would say the rest of them we've spoke about multiple times. Mudryk with a 5-4, 5-star for Future, the 5-5 for Ginola. You've obviously got Dembele with a 5-5 and rapid. Politano being the cheap beast at 27. Salah always being gold. Still waiting for the upgrade for him as well. And Hansen and Diane being the two females that absolutely rock that right wing. Now this has to be my favourite list, because this is the one thing I don't know if VA was shooting for or it just naturally happened. The strikers you can get right now for the prices are insane. Genuinely, you can get some very good strikers. Not necessarily that you don't need them, but if you are a new account, if you've not quite grinded an Mbappe, you've not grinded a Eusebio, you've not been lucky in a player pick, this is the time for you, because you're looking at a Jota at a 5-5, 350. Nice. We're looking at a David at 38,000 for a 5-5 striker. That's good. You've then got JJ Okocha, maybe should have been in the cam. I forgot him, but I had to put him in regardless, because 90,000, 5-5, ping pass finesse, great cam centre forward, slight strike if you really wanted to. But then we get into a Robbie Keane, 40,000 coins. Van Persie, 60,000 coins. Enzo at 80. Rooney at 415. Love this Rooney card as well. Had to always put him in. Ian Wright at 295. A very usable right at that. And Lineker at 41,000. The prices for these Galazzos are insane. Then if we just strike up a little bit more, we have a Berbatov, a 93 Berbatov at 151. Villali at a 93 at 48,000. Even Pushkas dropping to 350. The prices are crazy, and these strikers, it's not like they're just kind of bringing names through and not necessarily upgraded. You're looking at the pace, 91 pace, 92 shooting, 93 dribbling with a 5-4. Travella, finesse, very nice. We've got the quick step aerial with a 4-5, 92 pace, 94 shooting, 89 on the dribbling. They are very good upgrades. We've used them all, and I must admit, there wasn't one that I thought was bad, like genuinely unusable. Everybody has got a level, like naturally. You're not really going to go in with an Enzo Francescoli at Elite Division. It's just not going to happen. You're going to more than likely have a very top-end team. But if you've got that skill level, you could. That is the difference. You could definitely rock a Robbie Keane, a Van Persie, a Berbatov, a Villali, and still absolutely annihilate people. We then have the likes of Alex Morgan, great upgraded card for this, 93 rated, 5-5, with obviously the finesse and first touch. We all love a big boy Benz at 316. You can go for the 5-4 or the 4-5, but he's got the aerial and also finesse. I love his shooting, it's just absolutely golden. We take one more step up, we've got a couple more icons now. Drogba, 382 for a 94 Drogba. I mean, make it make sense. Genuinely, how good that card is. I have seen him everywhere. Gerd Muller coming in at 394. I think that is a fantastic icon to still be talking about. And then obviously Raul, now he's got another version at 229 for the Winter Wildcard. 4-5. Never gonna argue. And then we obviously have a bit of Van Nistelrooy, which has always got to be there. He's coming in at a whopping... computer froze, which is always nice. He's coming in at a whopping 125. Again, like with Ian Wright, like with Lineker, a very good upgrade for the card. He's got the pace now. He already had the shooting, a bit more on the dribbling, and a 4-5. Never gonna argue with him. Hugo Sanchez, who I thought was fantastic at just under 200. Again, has the 5-4 or the 4-5, but the rapid plus with a power shot, which is personally my favorite when it comes to a striker. And then one of the cheapest 94s we'll probably ever see. Prince 94 with the junior and also the senior over with the aerial plus and the power shot plus. Now if the computer doesn't want to freeze, that would be even better because I want to see what this card's price is at. But apparently that's not going to happen. So in terms of Prince, have we broken it down on internet? Apparently not. It just took a time to lag. 80,000 coins for the 94. You obviously have 34,491. Still a very, very good card. It may not be the top of the division, like I said, but this is not a list of who's going to get you rank 1 elite every single week. But this is for everybody who is trying to get a striker but doesn't have the millions of coins. You only need a couple of 100,000 and genuinely you can get some strikers that will compete with quite a lot of the defenders and other strikers alike. So let me know down below your cheapest and most best player in your team. Make sure you like on this video as well and subscribe and check out the videos on screen, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace!